Hey there, y'all. This is Hades, and today we are discussing Bleach, Thousand Year Blood War, episode 30, and we get Uryu's Volt standing. Alright, this is so freaking insane. I'm actually somewhat surprised we got it this early into it. I thought we'd be getting it later when Uryu throws down with Hoshwald, but nope, we got it in this episode, alright? So, like, yeah, very, very cool. This whole episode is mostly, fighting episode, not really too much development of the progression of the story. It's just expansion on Ichigo versus Uryu, which is something we didn't really get in the manga all that much, and also with Yuhao Bach getting the Mimiyage, the left hand of the Soul King. So yeah, very very good stuff here. All right, so let's just continue to review, shall we? As we just cut to essentially Yuhao Bach just trying to rip the Mimiyage out of the Soul King, preventing Soul King from still being alive. And if you already read the manga or watched the episode, you already know what happens. Yuha is successful in this, but they do add more to this episode with filler. And again, this is how you do filler correctly. This is how you do it. This is actually freaking fantastic. And if they do more like this in the next episodes, like I am totally all on board with this because again, this is fantastic. I gotta say. And if I could ask Kubo some questions. Like if I could really talk to him about these episodes, I would ask him like, did when you were helping with the production of these episodes with the storyboarding and writing, did you throw Uryu's Volt standing in this episode because you kind of wanted it to be earlier, or is like after some time, after you finish the manga, you're like, I should have put it in this part, and I'm going to do that now. Like that's kind of the questions I would like to ask Kubo. So let me ask you guys, if there's any questions you would like to ask Kubo, like what would it have been? Like I'd be curious to hear what you have to say. Because again, the thing I'm looking forward to is seeing how they handle Gerard's death in the when they fight him with all the captains fight him. I want to know like are they gonna handle that differently? Because they got it right. Because they definitely just cheaped out on his death in the manga. So I really, really do hope they do make some changes to where they actually defeat Gerard, the Valkyrie. Again, my favorite male Stern Rider. So I hope they handle that differently. All right. But yeah, then we cut to mostly the same where Yoroichi tries to stop the Soul King's death. She tries to create a barrier around the Soul King, but of course that doesn't really go well when Uryu attacks her with an arrow, and then Ichigo has to go stop him, and then Yorichi tries to do something again to stop it, but she, of course, is stopped by Parnita, the Senator See the compulsionary, as he just crushes her arm, and she just gets launched right off the tower. And we get the royal guards just right there, ready to actually throw down. They're ready to throw down with our squad of Ginjo, Chad, and Orihime. And let's face it, them three cannot take on the weakest of the Stern Ritters right here. Which the weakest one might be, I hate to say this, but it might be Askin. It might be, he might be the weakest of the royal guards here, which is crazy to think about because he's insanely powerful. But yeah, yeah, they'd stand no chance against Askin whatsoever. But we do get a Chad moment. We get a Chad moment where he actually participates in this fight, and he does pretty, he does something, which I'm always happy to see. But then Ichigo versus Uryu fight continues on, and I want to say, after the last episode, I think we could all agree Ichigo would completely dominate Uryu. But the thing that is holding him back is that Uryu is his friend. He doesn't want to hurt Uryu. But on the opposite hand, Uryu is just more than willing to just beat down Ichigo and try to take him out. As we do see Ichigo use his cross Getsuga Jujishu, and he launches it and it completely overpowers Uryu's abilities to where it just passes Uryu, and Uryu even makes a remark like, "Yeah, that's foolish of you." Again, because Ichigo had his attack just slightly miss Uryu, so he wouldn't completely directly hit him. And then, of course, we see later on where Uryu fires an arrow so fast that Ichigo is unable to react to it, and it just takes a chunk out of him, and that takes him out of the fight essentially. So yeah, not great for Ichigo, but of course, I think we all know that Ichigo's holding back. He easily is. If this did come down to a fight between these two, like who would win an actual fight between Uryu and Ichigo, I would say Ichigo. But remember, Uryu does have the antithesis ability, so like he could switch it if like Ichigo doesn't one shot him. Yeah, Uryu could turn it around, just reverse all the damage onto Ichigo. So yeah, like Ichigo can kill Uryu, but he'd have to one shot him and just destroy him. So there's a chance he could win, but or Uryu could just reverse it. And I just want to speak on Uryu's Volt Standing. It's an interesting ability. I thought it had more something to do with his antithesis, but it's more like I guess like his I would assume his fighting, his Volt Standing is more akin to like the old school Quincy's where they just had so many just bombard their enemies with just projectiles after projectiles with these I don't know what those creatures are called. Well, they're not real, but they're like kind of like these like spindly things you see on photos sometimes. I am sorry, I don't know what they're called. That's what they kind of remind me of. They're one of the stands in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. The one of Dio's sons has against when he fights Jolene. They like move at unbelievable speeds, something like that. Like that's what it reminded me of, but obviously better. But yeah, overall, I'm very very satisfied with this episode. I guess my only complaint would be uh if I had to come up with, like really, it's just I guess it has nothing to do with Ichigo versus Uryu or Yuha against the Soul King. Mine would probably be the fact that I guess I'm just nitpicking here. Like I guess Gerard not because he fights Orihime, Chad, and Ginjo by himself, and yeah, easily he's just having fun with them. Again, that's it. That's really a complaint, and it's not even really a complaint. It's not even a nitpick because I'm trying to think of something that's not bad here. Or that's bad here. And there's nothing really something this episode, probably a 9 out of 10, a banger episode. And it's so freaking cool. We get to see Uryu's Volt Standing, and yeah, and like 2 episodes ago, I assumed that we were gonna get like all this was gonna end, and that we're gonna get uh uh Ukitake's death, but no, we get it in this episode where Yuha grabs the arm of the Soul King and absorbs it. And we see that really odd form where he has all those eyes. So yeah, we got that this episode. So I'm glad they had enough. Again, people assume all filler is bad. Like no, not all of it's bad. And like Bleach is like a prime example of showing some good filler. Like it really is. There's only one filler I can think of that's bad that Bleach added. Funny enough, it involves Chad in the first episode of Thousand Year Blood War, but besides that, like the rest of this filler is banger. So yeah, 8 out of 10. Again, it mostly follows the manga, and what it adds is fantastic. So yeah, that concludes my review. If you listen this far, I greatly appreciate it, and I hope you guys have a great day and take care. Later.